3, 2, 1, let's go. It's Joce Central,
What's
episode
up,
31.
We back at it again with the Joce Central, episode 31. Got my boy Kenny, got my boy Jake, and we about to get to it today, man.
Damn,
Beautiful
bro,
to see y'all.
You fucking spoiled it, bro. They wasn't supposed to be able to recognize this dude, man.
You feel me?
He got a fresh
Real
ass
original.
cut and a beard now. He can join in the beard gang. I like it. I like to see it. Now you just gotta join the muscle gang.
Yeah,
Do it with
I'm
us.
slacking a little bit.
Come on, bro. Get in that little gym with Elgin, man.
You feel me? But nah,
You
how
gonna have
y'all
to wake up
doing,
at 5
man?
in the morning.
I know, he wakes up.
You wanna do
pretty
that?
early.
I get up.
I do it now too. Feels great.
I'm telling you, bro.
I'm
5
telling you,
a.m. club.
look,
We need
whenever-
to start like a club, like a 5 a.m. club, and have like a
Early
little
bird
morning
club.
call. Yeah, like the
Early Bird
call.
Club. That we get the worms.
Schedule like a Zoom meeting or some shit.
Yeah,
Boy, that'll
like-
be fucking fire.
All you gotta do is wake up at 5 a.m. Do something great. Do something that you want to do. Work out. Do something cool. Early in the morning. Get that shit out the way.
Facts.
And then hit us up on Nine Bird Productions website. Say, just hashtag Early Bird Gang. It's hashtag Worms Secured. It should be
What
cool.
if we have like a Zoom meeting in the morning at 5 a.m. Everybody just call in, you feel me? You just say one thing that you're gonna do today, like one thing you're gonna do to work towards your goal.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Actually, me, TJ, and Stefan kind of started doing that. So
Kinda?
like.
How you kinda do that? It's either you doing that shit or you
Well,
not.
because somebody, I'm not gonna mention names, but one person in that group in particular is not waking up at 5 a.m. every day, like me and the other one.
So y'all just be talking to each other type shit.
So we have a group message between us three, and then whenever we hit the whenever we wake up, we hit the group message and say something immediately, and then we get to talking, and then we hit the gym together. Somebody don't wake up though. I don't know who that.
Wait, y'all like physically go to the gym together?
Yeah.
Well, that's fire.
Yeah. Yeah, we wake
That's
up, hit the
fire.
group, talk a little bit, and then meet up at the gym together at like 5:30 or something, and then get to work.
That's
Bro,
fire.
like watching the sun come up. Come on, bro. Like
Nothing
you
beats
gotta
that.
wake up, like you get a good night's sleep, wake up, and then watch the sun come up, and I promise you, you're gonna feel like your life is going in the right
that's
way.
The first win that's the first win of the day.
It just feels.
Beating the
Like-
sun up.
I really think it has a lot to do with like science, like to get it, like if you wanted to like really get into it, I think it has a lot to do with like your circadian rhythm, and just like it's like a certain stimulus that you can only get from like looking at the real world and watching the sun come up at that time in the morning
It
with,
like it centers
with
you.
those chemicals
It
in the
centers
air,
you, bro.
because you know how like the plants wake up. You know what I mean? All the plants wake up at the same time. Like they start putting out their little hormones and shit.
That's
and
all
it smells different.
That we are a part of the universe. So if we watch the flow of the universe and not be encapsulated in our house, then of course we're gonna feel differently about that because we're actually watching the thing that we're connected to move.
Yeah.
You feel me? So
It's like when a cat like sees like when my cat sees anything that's like long and has like waves to it, like a thick wire, or like a lot of cats get freaked out over like cucumbers. A lot of cats get freaked because it looks like a snake. But they've never seen a snake. My cat is a house cat, never seen a snake a day in his life. But if I put
instinctually they know.
Yeah, right. Like this big XLR cable, it was sticking out my bag one time, and she walked up in the room to come like hang out with me, and she looked to the corner of the room and then like walked up and was like slowly coming up to the bag, and then she fucking jumped in the bag and like attacked it. I was like, chill out, it's a damn cable.
It's because cats know their weaknesses. They know that the only thing that can be quicker than a cat, only thing that can stop a cat from like exposing its quickness is something wrapping it up and restricting it. You feel me? So like they have to be cautious of things that are elongated because it can really like wrap around and like stop them from fucking moving and shit. And that's their fucking strength type shit.
Over the course of evolution, they've adapted to having a high stress response to that thing, because that was the only thing that could really get them back in the day.
Exactly.
Like
imagine like a mountain lion or some shit, and then like a big ass anaconda.
Like
the fucking anaconda will win.
What are humans the most scared of? Like what are humans like the most like instinctually afraid of?
I would say like a bear, or like a lion, like something that's faster and strong, something that's faster and stronger. I feel like
You know what my
Either-
answer was gonna be?
what
Like poisonous bugs and like small poisonous shit.
I feel like we had like an instinct for like shit like that. Yeah,
like if I just did a little something like that on your skin, like okay, you ever seen a horse just standing up in his stable, and they got bugs flying all over it, just flying in his nose, flying on his eyelid.
honestly, I think that's right
And
because
they don't care.
because like back in the day, I'm thinking about right now, but back in the day, we were equipped with weapons because we had the prefrontal cortex to where we can strategize and use things to our advantage that can kill something that might be stronger than us, but we can outsmart it. But like, it's hard to outsmart something that you can't see, which is like something poisonous or like something very minute, something small. Like a spider or like some shit like
And
a
lot
poisonous
of them bugs
spider.
are just suicide bombers. And like the thing is about when it comes to like fucking like people, we have this skill to like negotiate. Like if we see like a large animal, right? We know how to like maybe throw some food at it
Right.
and let it eat the food, and then we could run away because we're smart like that.
Right.
But a lot
or
of
we
them
can play
bugs, like,
dead or play still or like do shit like that.
we're smart. We could outsmart shit. Like big dumb animals, we could outsmart for the most part. Like in a closed environment, yeah, a bear's gonna tear you up. But there's a lot of ways you could get away. Well, maybe not a lot of ways, but if you at home and you in your comfort of your own house, I'm much more scared of seeing a spider than a bear, because if a bear is like outside, I could probably get the shotgun or something like that. Or I could probably call the police, probably get something to handle that. But if there's a spider in your house and you don't know where it is, like it fucking crawled in the little thing,
That lighter.
yeah, who knows, bro? Like wasps, but like bees, they'll just kill themselves just to poison you. Like
They will.
They'll just because they do it for the sake of their
The
hive.
whole tribe.
Uh-huh.
And we don't do that as humans.
You can't negotiate with a terrorist basically. Like you can't negotiate with like a bug that's willing to just die. You know what I mean? Like,
Because animals don't have the ability to like think about the future. I think that everything's instinctual about an animal. Like
Just in the moment.
a dog ain't about to be like, oh, shit, let me not eat all this food tonight, that way I can save it for tomorrow, or like I'm gonna save it later. Like, nah, you put the food in the bowl, they gonna eat the whole bowl, son. So it's like, I feel like a lot of animals, they just do everything based on what was instilled in them, which is their instinct to just protect or
and if they come across
provide.
a lot of food, you better eat it all now, because you know you might not have it later. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, some dogs.
Yes, I mean I guess some dogs, but some dogs are much further on the evolutionary scale than other dogs. Like some dogs are much more closely related to the hive, like the wolf packs, you know,
Yeah.
and shit like that.
Depending on
And-
the breed, yeah.
And you can kind of tell, like the little deformed looking ones, like the pugs and shit like that. They don't really act like instinctual dogs. You know, they just do dumb shit.
Right.
But the ones that look like wolves act like
Like
wild
German
animals.
shepherds are like still like very intelligent because they're still connected to the wolf pack,
Yeah, they
still-
have that like useful intelligence.
right? And usually they don't crossbreed with other, species or like variations of dog because they don't want to dilute the
gene pool.
the strong gene of the the German shepherd, because it's so like unique and it's so powerful that why would you
Yeah, put it
eliminate
out there.
that? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's fucking racist. Just
But nah, what the hell we was talking about before we had
Racist
got on
dogs.
the what the hell we was talking about before we had got on the podcast? I think we was talking about not baseball cards, but like we was talking about, we had like got past that. But I mean, I guess we could talk about
yeah,
that
in
part too.
pre-production.
Yeah.
We was talking about started talking about what the hell is gonna happen when everybody that don't want to go to work no more just start investing and just doing investments and having like side hustles on the internet and shit like that, like because everybody's trying to get into a new like you realize like when Bitcoin or like one crypto goes up, they all go up because everyone is trying to find their own little their own little Bitcoin, like own little thing, like all the little cryptos that are at like 0 point whatever. People are buying into those because they're like, this could be the next Doge, this could be the next Bitcoin, this could be the next so and so, and yeah, everybody's going into that. And we were having this discussion about like which ones are even like real, like which ones like.
So
and,
like,
and then, like
the
what
way
does
I look
real
at it,
even
bro,
mean, first off?
you could tell off bat which ones are real currency and which ones are kind of like, I don't want to say Ponzi schemes, but like it's similar to like the .com boom in like the 2000s, whenever like everybody was making a website and shit and the internet was invented and shit. So like Bitcoin, there's a limited supply of Bitcoins, and once that supply runs out, the value has to go up because there will never be any more created. It's like a scarcity type of model to where you can only get so many. But see, with Dogecoin, you can get an unlimited amount of Dogecoin. But the only thing that's keeping Dogecoin going up is because large institutions are buying that shit and they're pumping up the price of that. See, a lot of people think that it's the small, like Robinhood, like accounts that's propping this shit up, but no, bro, it's these banks that are buying it and then they selling it once it gets to the top, and then that shit drop, and then y'all sell too, so that shit drop even further, and then they buy back in, and that shit go back up for them, for the people who know, the people who control all of the money. That's who's putting the money into it, bro. If you research about the Dogecoin, there's only like 20 fucking crypto wallets that hold, I believe, 80% of the supply of Dogecoin, bro. So
crypto wallets meaning like like a
right,
one
like,
person's account,
like one key, like one, because each wallet has a key. So on 20 keys owns 80% of the supply of Dogecoin, and whoever created the Dogecoin can make an unlimited amount of that and dilute the actual value of what the Dogecoin is worth on, just by that, without even people selling the shit. You feel me? So really the whole thing is I don't want to say it's a scheme, because you can still use the Dogecoin as a cryptocurrency, but I'm saying as far as the value of it is literally just like the US dollar, because you could print an unlimited amount of dollars.
yes,
And you could create an unlimited amount of Dogecoin, but there's only a limited amount of Bitcoin. There's only a limited amount of gold. That's why they compare Bitcoin to gold.
yeah.
So basically, they just hyping it up.
Yeah, it's hype, but I ain't knocking nobody for who invested it, because people don't know what cryptocurrency is. So yeah, if you invest in it now, yeah, that bitch gonna go up because it was only a couple cents. But like at some point, it's gonna have to. Once people realize what cryptocurrency is.
And that was a good example. How you said like most of the big institutions are pumping their money and they're basically hyping it up to get people to buy it.
Right. And then they sell it, take y'all money because y'all selling it too, and then buy it back low again. Boom. Go back up. Y'all put y'all money in, boom, y'all sell. Y'all just do. People, well, I ain't gonna say y'all, because people just do. We all do that. We all in some aspect do whatever the large institutions do, because that's whose money is controlling the flow of where money goes.
It's a wave. It is a flow. It's like you're gonna be swept in it if you're not, if your boat is not as big as someone else's boat. Like you're more susceptible to being pulled around by the tides.
The same reason why we use money, paper money, because somebody told us that it's worth $50. This paper that I have in my hand is worth $50.
Yeah.
You actually physically don't have anything in your hand, but like it's probably less than a cent to print that paper. You feel me? Like less than a fraction of a cent. But it's all about a credit. They crediting you this amount to use it for this, and then they gonna print as much as they want out of thin air. You feel me? So
yeah, and they have synergy within themselves because they all like work together for the same company, or like own the same conglomerate of companies. You know what I mean? Like it's a small group of people. We talk about this shit a lot, like the elites or whatever. Fuck it, whatever. The richest people who influence things for their own benefit. Cool.
Yeah. But ain't nothing wrong with investing in crypto. Like ain't nothing wrong with investing in any crypto, bro. Altcoin, goddamn Ethereum, Bitcoin, because all that shit is going up. But I just want people to understand what the fuck it is. That way, when the shit drop, you don't just pull all your money out because it's only a matter of time before they put their money back in. You feel me? Yeah. So like, it's really just, it's exactly like the stock market. Like, there's nothing telling us that we should pay this amount of money to invest in this stock. There's nothing telling us but other people's opinion of it. It's literally just an opinionated like market.
Yeah, that's why just when like Elon Musk puts out his opinion and a lot of people follow him, that's when, you know, shit changes. But you know, my you know, I think about this in like a way as if we're gonna take like the metaphor that I used earlier about like, okay, so you got like a big old, like the rich people, like say the richer you are, the bigger the ship, you know. We all in the water together, and we can all kind of control the water to an extent based on the size of your boat. So you got one or a couple big ass boats, and they have their own little secure way of communicating with each other and without communicating to everybody. And everybody else communicates on a large scale, say like social media or, you know, whatever it may be, Twitter. So it's crazy to me that those 5 people with their giant boats can get together and say something and say, we're going to do this. We're going to raise the price of this so that everybody goes and sells, or we're going to crash it to make them buy more, whatever they want to do. They can do that, but it seems as if the hardest thing and the most beneficial thing for probably the world or whatever society we're in is to have all the small boats. What if they all just sent one text message to each other, buy now, and we all did the same thing? The tide that would create would be so big that it would even topple over the bigger boats. So my question is, at what point do the people as a whole, like a population of people, get together to do like a big thing that changes, like, you know, like give the power like to the people? It's a silly phrase. It's very.
See, my thing is, it's illegal to do that. It's illegal for institutions to communicate with each other and do that. So technically, it is illegal for people to consult with one another and not be a financial expert, you know, or a financial consultant and tell people to purchase a certain asset.
Yeah. It is illegal if we got on this podcast and said you have to buy this.
The same thing happened at GameStop. So like, you know how the GameStop, they had a large institution who was shorting the stock, which means they was thinking that the stock was going to go down. But they had these people on Reddit who said that, oh, since the large institutions are saying it's going to go down, what we going to do is we going to buy it. That way when we buy it and the price go up, they going to lose all of their money.
Right.
You see, and we don't have control of these apps. So on Reddit, there's these large institutions who actually listen in on these different group chats and see what people are saying, and they actually do the shit. They actually use their large sums of money that's going to actually make a difference. Our little $1,000, $500 stimulus checks ain't about to make no change in that big ass market. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, GameStop. So what they do is they listen to that and they put their money into that and make it go up, making you think that you actually did something, and then they pull their money back out and they take your money with it. You feel me? Because you're going to sell too, and you're going to sell at a lower price. So we got to be careful with that, because they can play the games that we can't, because they can put restrictions on the general population, that those same restrictions that we can't put on them. You feel me? Because they're the ones who are in power. I use quotation because we all have our own power within us. You feel me? So that's how I feel about it. We just got to be strategic and smart about it.
Yeah.
But you can't have a strategy without cooperation. And I mean,
and that's why they dividing us, bro.
What we read.
If you think about it,
that's
me
what I
and
was
you,
just about to say.
Me and you not even supposed to be cool right now because you are white, I'm black. Because the way they've been portraying the world to us on this TV screen, is for us to not be friends.
Yeah, they would make it like if you and I say if you stayed in your house for a year, but that's what fucking happened. It all plays into the same.
Right.
Like it's like my scenarios, my hypotheticals are reality because like if I was the elite and if I was trying to do what they want to do, then this is the way I would fucking do it. You make people stay in their house for fucking a year.
Right.
And the whole time that's going on, you get on the news racism, whites versus blacks, whites versus blacks, and you don't actually go outside and talk to nobody. Mm-hmm. You don't go see for yourself that shit is not real. You don't go out for yourself and see that like all it takes is goodness and kindness to get rid of all of that shit that they say that they telling you is like, you know, going on in the world. Like it's not like it goes on because the second that somebody steps outside, they have fear. Like they're scared of like either getting called a racist or being a victim of racism or being, you know, involved in some. And
it puts you on edge, right? Like it puts you in this state of defense instead of this state of like, what can I do to better myself, better my community? It puts you in a more of a
what can
internalized,
like attack mode.
Yeah, like you always on, like you like always in war. So like you can never really pay attention to the broader scale of things on like what the fuck is really going on, because Elon Musk in the midst of this pandemic made the most money he ever made as a fucking entrepreneur ever. And there's been multiple people with small businesses and even large businesses who have said that 2020 was their best year of business. So it's like they not feeding into the shit that, you know, the general population will see on TV and see in their life and see on their fucking social media app.
I think
they taking advantage of the opportunity.
I think more people need to learn, like, basically how to think for themselves.
Yes.
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the thing is, you gotta look through everything. Like, we're looking at this TV, we're seeing this little ad for this show or whatever. Forever. This isn't just a given that this shit exists. It's not just a thing that exists for no reason. Somebody said this. Somebody came up with this. This is somebody's idea. Somebody put this out, and somebody contacted
Roku and said, "Oh, you're gonna have a screensaver on your TV." I wish they could see it. So there's a screensaver on my TV.
A lot of people notice
for the Roku. Yeah,
Rokus.
and it's a billboard that's promoting a show. Yeah. Somebody said, "Roku, you're gonna have a screensaver. How much will it cost for me to promote my TV show on your screensaver?" Yeah. And they said blah blah $1,000 or $1 million. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I'll give you that. In return, you put that on there for this amount of time, and then I'm a attempt to get this much money. If I get this much money, then I will give you this much percentage of it for that ad as well. Right. You feel me? So like it's literally just everything that you're looking at is business, bro.
All of that is going on behind the scenes just for you to see one thing, and that's the thing is I just think people
because they want your attention, bro. Attention in this day and age is worth gold, bro.
No, for real. That's why people will invest so much money into like a platform just to, like, for example, Netflix wasn't making a dime for years and years and years. They were a multi-billion-dollar company, but they weren't making a dime. And then they did that because once you have that many people subscribe to one fucking thing, like when you have them all looking at the same screen, then your screen is the most valuable screen in America, and you could sell that screen, like a place on that screen, to the highest bidder. And then you can make money off of just, okay, shit, like the movies that used to come out in AMC and used to be blockbuster hits, instead of doing that, just put it on Netflix and pay the guys at Netflix to put it on Netflix, because you're going to be better doing that than you are going to be putting it on AMC.
And you see, even now in the video game space, to stay on the topic of crypto, I want to talk about NFTs, bro. NFTs is probably the craziest shit. That's going to be the new crypto, really, the new thing. Because what NFTs allows you to do. So say you playing a video game, say you playing Rocket League, somebody can purchase the space on Rocket League and promote their business as like a billboard on Rocket League, and it all be backed up through the blockchain on Ethereum's network. And the blockchain allows you to pretty much like validate the authenticity of your item that you purchase. So like say you purchase this space, they'll give that space a code and it'll be reported back to the blockchain, and they are required to pay you for however many people, you know, tap onto your space from that network. So basically every time that somebody purchases something from that little ad that you put up on that, it was going to get reported back to the blockchain. The blockchain will pay you based on how much that person bought from that. You feel me?
Right.
So it's like basically you get royalties on everything that you produce and put into the digital space. And also you can use it in artwork. You can produce like limited edition artwork to where people, if they purchase this, then now they have rights and access to, say if you're a YouTuber, they have rights and access to all of your events that you want to have on your YouTube for free because they purchased this NFT. They can report that back to you, proving to you with the same blockchain key that they purchased it with, that they have this. This is their possession. Now they have free access to all of your YouTube events. You feel me? And that's all working through NFTs and blockchain. But like, I'm gonna go deeper into that, but I'm gonna just leave it at that for now.
What, like in a video?
Yeah.
Look out for the NFT explained video. That would be dope. You need to make a whole like little thing to put it together.
Well, if you create content, you need to be doing NFTs now.
So what do you think the real reason is why people just want to up and leave their 9 to 5 now?
Because you don't need it. You really don't.
I mean, dude,
it's literally at this point a 9 to 5.
Well, I'm not saying this is
it can be a hybrid. Some people really love what they do for their 9 to 5. But my thing is, ain't nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. I got a 9 to 5. But like,
I got a 12 to 12.
If that's the only thing that you're doing, you are doing yourself a disservice. Because if you die today, what they gonna do? They're gonna replace you. If your mom gets sick, are they gonna cut a check for your mom to get surgery or do some shit? You feel me? Or take care of her? What job you know will do that? Then they pay you. They tell you your work. They tell you work. They say you work fucking 50K or some shit. They clock the amount of hours you fucking work. They divide that by the 50K. All right, this how much you work on paper. You telling me 8 hours of my life for fucking a whole year is only worth 50K, but I can buy a Dogecoin at 1 cent for $1,000 and it go up to 40 cents. I make 40K.
So my question to you is my question to that is, you obviously disagree with the premise, but you say, yes, I want this job. Why do people do that?
I think right now everybody's in that transition state. We are all, as people, becoming more conscious through this pandemic that was really, I'm not going to say it was a blessing, but the pandemic in my life was a blessing, bro. Because if it wasn't for the pandemic, I would not have nearly enough time to actually educate myself on the things that I personally love and realize my true worth and realize the things that I want to do in my life and the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm going to produce in this life. You feel me? If it wasn't for that, I can't even say that I would have done it, because before the pandemic, I was just playing video games, going to sleep miserable, depressed, then fucking go to work in the morning thinking that was my only way out. Because that's what I was raised to think. But then just through self-knowledge and self-educating and self-empowering, I realized my true strength in this world and what I can actually do. And as long as you got the work ethic, bro, you can produce that. So at the end of the day, if you don't want to go back to your job, bro, you do not have to, bro. They are blessed with my presence at this point. That's how I walk into that building now. And I feel like they can tell. I done grew my hair out, bro. I do not give a fuck no more, son. Like, I used to cut my shit, care about what people think. Like, fuck. Like, no, bro. Like, I'm Elgin Woodside, man. You better respect me when I walk in this space, bro. I'm fucking gracing you with my presence right now because I know so much that I can add over $100 million of value to somebody's life, and I know that because I'm about to fucking have $100 million in my fucking hand. So why do I feel like I have to approach another man and ask him for a fucking raise or ask him for a fucking paycheck? I can produce a paycheck, bitch.
Or does it boil down like now jobs will have to start paying more? Since
they're not gonna do that. They just gonna prey on the people who don't have this mindset.
I don't really think there's a number that's gonna change any of what he just said though.
There's never gonna be a number.
Unless the number could be maybe.
There's never gonna be a number once you reach this. Because even if you bro, there's never gonna be a number, bro.
Even if you put up the $200 an hour, that
even if you give somebody $300,000, they're not gonna give you all they got because they work more than that.
So let me give you an example what we going through. All right, we pick up freight, we take it to distribution centers. So if you can't get nobody there to work for no $200 an hour, then how's that stuff gonna get into the grocery store? So now what y'all gonna do? See, that's like the problem.
That's why you prey on the people who don't have this mindset.
So eventually, I think it's like a role where everybody has to play a part. You know, nurses, they talking about they gonna be like the dinosaurs. So once the nurses are gone, now what you gonna do?
That's why they producing robots to do that shit, because they realize that the they knew that at some point people were gonna become aware of this shit.
Wake up.
So what they did, they started creating robots and all this automated shit to where if y'all start fucking tripping, they can fucking replace you with this fucking bot that can flip a patty for them and hand it to somebody.
What they call that?
They got that shit.
Yeah,
but like only certain is I feel like the consciousness and the AI wave is going to fucking collide, bro. The way that this shit is going right now, as far as if you not waking up at right now, by the time that the AI get there, bro, you are fucked. Because the AI is moving at a faster rate than the world consciousness right now.
Yeah. So there's this sort of idea. It's called the singularity. You ever heard of the singularity? Singularity is basically just whenever robots, like say AI, becomes aware of itself in the way that we are, deeming it, I guess, scientifically to say that it has a conscious. Now, my thing, and I want to piggyback off of what you just said, because AI right now is okay. We can replace certain people with it. Like we can replace cashiers with computers. Okay,
they're replacing whole grocery stores too.
If you worked your whole life to learn how to be the best cashier,
exactly,
then that AI passed you up.
Yep.
Now, but
in one fucking program.
So the thing is, humans create tools. Like first off, we used to have bigger, stronger bodies with better vitality and everything like that. Like back in the day, we were probably more adept to living in the wild, and we built shelters around ourselves, and we learned how to cook so that we didn't have to tear through live meat. We could get more nutrients out of the same dish. So, but that made things easier for us. It made things easier for us in the sense that we didn't have to be as strong and fast and powerful individually as a species, as a body, to get basic survival things. Therefore, what that did was it created a new era for humans to evolve with that security of I'm gonna be able to live, I'm gonna be able to just survive. So what do I do now? Because you would think that, you say back in the day, in the fucking Stone Age, when we first started putting shelters over our heads, you don't think there was a lot of guys running around, oh, y'all are fucking weak, y'all living under shelters and cooking food, we eating it raw, we doing it natural, we staying under the sun, we letting the sun burn us up, and we dealing with it because we men, whatever it may be. But the the people who created that technology
That
for
system,
themselves,
yeah.
they were able to evolve in a different way, and what they did was evolved their brains.
They involved in consciousness.
They
and
evolved
awareness.
their brains, their
and
awareness,
thought.
and thinking ahead and thinking about strategy, and that's where we are today. That's how our society is built today. I mean, just look at it. Like everything is based off of some sort of system and some sort of thought process. You can pretty much think through everything that goes on nowadays, and most of the most valuable people in the world are not valuable because they got the strongest arms. They have the strongest brains. That's what the most valuable people are. So, basically, back what I'm saying, that means that leaves a huge opening when AI starts to take the basic necessity jobs, the things that we needed to get us by. Because, I mean, back in the day, like even in the 90s, how was society going to run without cashiers?
Right.
How the fuck were you going to do this without a cashier? You can't do anything without a cashier in 1995. You gotta have, if you're giving money to somebody gotta take the dollar, put it in there, ring it up, check it, make sure it's a real dollar, and blah 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 blah. That don't matter no more. The computer can do all of that.
And the thing that they don't show you is China. They don't show you places in China for this very reason that Jacob's talking about right now, because China is already doing it.
Well, you got to think.
They already
China
don't have
been,
cashiers.
China has been advanced for
They already
a
have
long
whole
time.
grocery stores where you go in there and grab it and put it in your basket, and it already scans it and takes it out of your wallet.
But
it already takes the money out your account when you scan it.
When we were like showing up in America and like building from the ground up and doing all of the shit to like build basic houses and find out how to get food and how to use the soil on this land. China and those Asian countries, they've been in the same place for thousands of years before that. They already had a society structure going on. They wasn't worried about any of that. They wasn't trying to tackle the basic necessities.
Right.
So it would just make sense that they would be, just like I said, further along on the conscious evolutionary scale than most places in the world, because they've been doing this automation, make life easier. Everybody, get in an assembly line, and we make technology to, make everything automated and make people. China. That's a weird society, man.
But the only thing that's stopping China from taking over this whole world right now is the fact that everybody got atomic bombs, and the fact that they have not hacked them yet. Because if they can hack all of them, which they already hacked the one that we had in Israel when that bitch blew up.
But how do all atomic bombs have a computer chip inside of them?
I believe so, bro.
That's the
You don't think there's any of them that are just straight up?
We need to have some that's just straight like mechanical.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know all that shit classified. You gotta ask them people who work on them.
And we don't
but
want nobody knocking
the
on
ones
doors.
that are controlled by computers can be hacked. But as long as we have some that cannot be hacked, then we just have to keep security around the ones that can't be hacked. But I don't know how many of those we have.
I think everything can be hacked.
Yeah.
Then what happens when security guards are just robots? Like there's always that next step. There's always
That's why you
step.
always need to have a human that you can trust.
There's AI
in control of the robot.
AI studying the stock market.
You cannot have anything solely on a robot that is classified.
That's what I was about to ask. So now, do we want to live in a life now everything's controlled by robots?
You cannot survive in that.
Bring back some of them.
It's only a matter of time.
Skills and.
But if you go back, then does that mean that it's only a matter of time until it goes back again? Like just advances back to the point where we are now. Like
it's just always going. You're gonna always have to have somebody in leadership that is aware of that possibility.
Yeah, that's why I always think about
the way that we've been looking, bro. We got some dumbass leaders.
Like naturally, I always want to feel like no, we don't need to do. Like, we could just do things the old-fashioned way. Like, it just always makes sense to me. Just do things the old-fashioned way.
Because I think we was put here by, I don't know who everybody praises, but we was put here to do that. It wasn't robots. I mean, he didn't put us here for like, hey, just let robots control everything. No, we here for a purpose.
Yeah,
And I don't think it's robots.
I think the clearest idea, like the clearest proof of that, is that nobody conspired to create technology that's gonna overtake the world. You know what I mean? Like it happened incrementally because every time we find a problem, we want to create a solution so that we don't run into that problem again. And eventually, that all just adds up together to be computer chips, and then once the computer chips are just like running input and output, then you're gonna be like,
I think
okay,
China,
how do we make it like a
this not
make it
even a
smarter?
thought. This not even a thought no more. This is literally just something that I really believe happened. I believe China created the internet,
To destroy the world.
and it not to destroy it,
To control
but
it.
to control it. And they also created Bitcoin.
They probably created Bitcoin. But my question to you is, China is a country, so who are we talking about?
And you know how they did?
We talking
Well,
about the Communist China Party, the one that controls the entire continent over there, or that country.
Yeah, you know, we got like that. That's the part. You see, that's pretty much the
There-
most we can say.
There's so much more advanced.
That's pretty
bro.
much, even if you study, that's the most you can get to it. Like,
They have a
you can
way to
either
where
trace
if you
things.
walking down the street, they can scan your face
And
as you walk down the
see
street
your social
and know your
status.
whole fucking background.
Mm-hmm.
So you trying to tell me they can't create a blockchain or they can't create the internet, and they got that? Where have you seen anything that the United States has produced that is used on a universal scale, technology wise?
the narrative is that the internet was created by the U.S. military.
No. No,
But you-
the internet was provided to the U.S. and licensed from the U.S. military. Yeah, I believe that. But where did the U.S. military get that?
But is that a thing that is said? Like, is that if you look into it, is that what you find out?
Facts.
That,
Yeah, the military used it first, and then now it's legally
don't
licensed
believe
for
that?
public use.
and you don't believe that?
No, I believe that the U.S. had it and they licensed it for public use as far as in this country. But as far as the concept of what the internet is built on,
Yeah.
the initial server, I believe that was built by the Chinese. No, I don't believe that the U.S. built that.
I wonder if it was more so like a
Because we get everything
like
from China.
I wonder if it was more so like everybody was kind of catching on to the same thing and making their own little network of
Yep.
devices, and that's kind of how
That's
it, like
exactly
we
what
probably
happened.
invented it, but they invented it too. You think?
I think that they invented it and we were using it, because technically we were allies with China for a long time till we pissed them off. They were technologically advanced, and we used to have all of the force and power and influence over the world. So in order for us to negotiate, they allowed us to use their network that they had control over in our military, because they were our allies. So we asked them for access to that, and we asked them if we can license it for public use, and they said yeah, but they gonna get their money out of that. And that's why China owns Google, YouTube. They own all the big shit. That's the two largest search engines in the world, and it's owned by the Chinese. So how can they own the two largest search engines and not own the goddamn network?
I'm just gonna say this is
Well, they could own it now, but that wouldn't mean that they invented it.
They
But,
did invent it.
Yeah, they could have. I don't know.
They literally did. I looked it up, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I studied this shit, bro. They own Google. They produced. They founded Google and YouTube, and that's the two main things. That's the two largest search engines. And you trying to tell me the person who invented it won't have the fucking most shit in it?
So my question is, why does whenever you search up the founder of Google and
because them
you say Google
faces.
and YouTube, so you find like some Americans, right?
No, it's Chinese people.
It's Chinese people when you
Yes.
search up on Wikipedia who
If-
founded Google.
Bro, if you look up who founded Google, it's gonna be
I thought it was like some
3
college
Chinese
dudes.
people. No, bro, that's Facebook.
No, I wasn't thinking about that. But I thought Google was like some
No, bro.
dudes with some weird names. that
Google
were
was not
Americans.
founded by no college people, bro. Because whoever founded Google founded the damn internet, because of how fucking intricate that shit is, bro.
Yeah, I mean the internet was pretty damn boring before Google. Google kind of centralized everything that was.
And the
like,
sad
happening.
part, they control everything you read.
Yeah, dude, I don't even, dude. we had this conversation like over a year ago, like back whenever I remember I went on this rant like back in one of the first podcasts where I was trying to Google a fucking thing,
I
like a
think
fact.
I was here.
Yeah, you were here. I was yelling with you about it because I was like, you cannot find the answer to your question on Google. Never.
Oh shit!
You can never
I'm always
find
listening
it.
to shit like that.
Like, bro, you Google something and it'll give you the wrong fucking answer.
Then you know what I think it is?
Like, just
Like,
right in your face. Like, this
How
is
the
the wrong
mic's still
answer.
turned on and all that. It's gonna give you the answer they know you want to hear. By just
Or the answer that they want you
you to know, yeah.
to hear.
So basically, when they spine in and see what you like looking at and all that, pretty much getting to know you, they already gonna give you the answer you want to know or what they want you to know.
Yeah, because some people like for example, like if you like they want to divert you from finding out like certain things. Like,
Of course.
you know what I mean? So if you're like somewhere like trying to like study, like, all right, I was watching just as a scenario, like if like say like the earth is actually flat, like just fucking for example, say the earth is actually flat, and you go to and you're like looking up all kind of research to find out, you know, that like, you know, when it comes to horizons and like aerodynamics and like, you know, airplanes and you in space and the stars and everything, you go to search that kind of stuff. And even if you put in like proof that the earth doesn't spin or something like that, or proof that gravity isn't real or something like that, if you search probably proof that gravity isn't real, you'll probably find you won't find anybody that is putting forth their proof that gravity isn't real. You'll find a fact check that says fact check, gravity is completely real, and anybody who says otherwise is, you know, trying to manipulate you or something like that. Like, that's how they kind of like that's how they like block you out of going down certain like information rabbit holes. Now, I'm not saying that I believe that the earth is flat, but I'm saying if you take that same idea and you apply it to so many different things, like what you're saying, for example, you know, a China conspiracy to create a network that they founded and own and control the whole world with, you will never be able to find any proof of that, or even the little bit of information that would lead you down the path to figuring more things out. Like, not only do they control what you see, they control what you don't see. And they don't want you to see certain things, so they don't want you to think past the given narrative.
That's why libraries are so important, yeah. Because that's the one thing that they can't, you know, go and get unless they come over here and take all of that. You feel me? We always got our archives. We always got that stuff.
Make sure you pump, like, well, not pump all your money, just keep it going.
Every time a society fell and a corrupt dictator took over, they burned books. Every time. Yeah. It's called book burning is like
knowledge.
Book burning is a metaphor. Like people call it like whenever somebody gets deleted, like somebody who tells the truth just gets deleted off of a social media platform or something like that. They're like they call it like, oh, this is them doing their book burning. Like that's what a lot of the, you know, people say, because in history it was literally they would do that. Like I think in certain societies, like I forget which ones, but they burnt
Greece
the Bible.
used to do it.
They burnt they used to burn like scriptures. And
Europeans used to do it when they went
maps.
to Africa. They burnt all our history, took it.
Yeah, because you fucking burn.
If you take somebody's knowledge of themselves, you got them.
Because then you can just tell them what it is.
You can tell them what they are.
Yeah, tell them what, you know.
This is what you are.
This is what you are, and the world's made this way, not this way.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the worst thing.
You unlearn and reteach.
Yep.
Dude, I think it's insane that anybody would ever listen to another person or anything tell them like what they are. Like, I promise you, that is the one thing that I try my damn hardest, and I think I do a pretty good job of it, to keep on lock. Like, you could tell me whatever you want about myself, but that's your opinion. What I am is it's not defined by anything that you can see. It's not defined by anything that you even would probably ever know. Like who you are as a person is solely determined on like your heart and your soul and your mind, whatever you think that is, like whatever
you feel that is,
yeah.
really.
And I think that's insane how people like, that's why like identity politics get on my nerves so much most of the time, because it's just like people are not what you say that they are.
So played out.
Like as a joke, it's funny to say, oh, these people are like that and those people are like this. Maybe as a joke on a comedy stage, yeah, fine. But when people really start to believe that because you are something that you are this, like it's so crazy to me, because all you have to do, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, all you got to do is step out your front goddamn door and go talk to anybody.
And see what
that's fine, bro. It probably looks cool. All you got to do is go talk to a person, and I promise you, they will prove you dead wrong. Like if you really sit down and listen to somebody, if you really sit down and listen to somebody talk about their life and their feelings and everything like that, you will probably be surprised. You'll be completely surprised, because you walk in just naturally as a human.
Because it's crazy, bro. Because like you'll turn on like any fucking news network and they'll be like, the left said this, the right did this, and it's like, bro, honestly, I don't give a fuck about the left, the right, the middle, the side, the fucking front, the back. I don't give a fuck about none of that, because my name is Elgin, bitch. I ain't left, right, nothing, nigga. Yeah. I'm independent. Stop fucking playing with me.
Right. And then so whenever you start believing in certain things, like that's how they get people to trick themselves into calling themselves a thing.
Exactly.
Like
people, I agree with the right on it. Yes. The right don't know who the fuck you is. The right don't give a fuck about nothing going on over here.
They only want to address their opinion.
Right.
Make sure their agenda gets
exactly, bro.
But bring certain people into it.
And the right and the left have the same ultimate agenda, bro. How do you have a right and a left without having a middle, without having a body of something that's connecting the right and the left? Like, just listen to this shit.
It's more so just like an establishment, and it's like it's like you got two divisions of the same.
I got a right arm and I got a left arm, but it's all connected to Elgin.
Yeah.
So what is the right and the left connected to? The order.
Yeah, it's just one big thing, and they don't like to keep their jobs. They don't like literally disagree with, like they don't actually fucking fight each other, because once it gets to a certain point, like think about it like in the music industry, as soon as Pusha T says something about Drake's producer like probably dying, Drake was like, No. This is just the music industry, bro. I don't care this much to sit here and like try and dig up dirt about your mom and talk about like call your mom a whore because of some shit or whatever he could have found. Like that's kind of how politics is, and that's why people say, oh, these people are playing politics in like sports and music and every industry, because to keep the industry,
it's nothing personal.
To keep the industry
afloat, it's not supposed to be nothing personal. Yeah.
To keep the industry afloat, and you have an industry where people battle each other, you can't actually battle to the death, because once you do, the whole thing falls apart and y'all both lose.
And that shows me that nobody in politics actually really gives a fuck, because if you are willing to fight to the death for what you believed in, that's how I know.
Lose your job.
Yeah, that's how I know you were supposed to be there. But if you ain't willing to fight to the death for it, then you honestly don't give a fuck about it. You don't care about it enough.
If you were a politician and you believed in what you believed in so bad that they just had to fire you because of it and get you out of there, then that's how I know you're a real politician, because you
but the fact that you still there, you are making somebody happy to stay there.
You knew you were going to lose your job, and you continue to say the same thing, and you said, okay, take it then. I'm still going to say this shit. That's what is true, And so that never happens in politics.
That's why Martin Luther King could never be a fucking politician. That's why Malcolm X could never be a politician, because they fucking literally died for what the hell they believed in. But you can allow Joe Biden to be a fucking president because he don't believe in shit. you can allow Donald Trump to be president because he don't give a fuck about nobody but himself and making the people who paid him happy. So it don't. If somebody's in power and they are allowed to be empowered by two people who disagree with something, they making somebody happy to stay there.
And it goes.
You compromising something.
It goes back to the bigger ships.
There's some sort of compromise, bro.
While the little ships out there, maybe they'll throw us a bone or a lifeboat or something. We're sinking. Maybe, you know.
And everybody on the big ship is just like arguing over who's gonna control the big ship instead of building their bigger ship. Yeah, and so I think that's just kind of like what we might be seeing in the future, like because instead of everybody kind of working together to help one CEO rise in power, you know, a CEO that could just fire you tomorrow and all the work that you put into they business just doesn't mean anything, and they are just as wealthy as they would be if you would have kept your job, if he would have never fired you. Instead of that, I think people are just realizing that, with 7 hours of my day, what can I do to create my own trade, to create my own thing that people are willing to pay me for? Like, what can I do in like 7 hours, bro? If you dedicated 7 hours to Instagram every day, probably have a lot of followers. You probably have a lot of followers if you did that. But, you know, and then you know, now you have a platform, and then now you have, you know, power, you know, in that sense of being able to reach a lot of people all at once. And so I think a lot of people are just starting to be like, fuck it, like, let's do that. Like, let's just, instead of slaving over this little bit of money, how about I just take the little bit of money that I have and probably try to invest it in something or something like that, and then try and put together my own platform that I could run and own. And then eventually, you know, if this is a new renaissance period that we're entering into, then that means that we're moving away from centralized currency and just moving into some weird sort of barter system where we're kind of just like trading things for each other, you know?
So do you think all the money in the world would make you happy right now?
No, I mean, it wouldn't. It would make me nervous at first. If you gave it to me immediately, I'd be like, "Oh shit, all right." So, because there's a lot more to it, man. Like, I mean, yeah, I'd be like floored about it, and I would want to do something to make that money sustainable. But, you know, I mean, it's just kind of like you can't, like, obvious. And then also, if you gave me all the money in the world, then that means nobody else is going to have money, and that means the whole world is going to collapse around me, and I'm the only person with money.
So,
and they would probably create some new money, like, because I'm the only one holding that one money.
So basically, how did we come in this world knowing about money?
How did we come into the world knowing about money?
Somebody telling us, right?
Yeah, your mama had a job, and she said, I pay for this house
now,
because...
if we change that, who would fucking know? Same thing about hate. How does people hate? You gotta teach them, right?
About hate. Yeah, you teach it. Yeah.
You gotta teach them about everything. So if you just change the teaching, you can change the whole world right there.
Yeah.
Because I remember back then, they used to trade. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe you had something that didn't grow on this side, and I had something that didn't grow on your side. That was considered like money right there, trading.
Uh-huh. And it's getting way easier to trade because of the internet, and like you can just, I mean, you see, you can just drop ship things. You can just, if you wanna produce something, you can kind of just connect with somebody else that knows how to do it, and then send that product over, and then now they don't have to go to Hot Topic to get a nice shirt. They don't have to go to fucking American Eagle to get some jeans that they like because they know a guy whose designs that they like, you know. And if it's crazy because then if you do that, then you end up creating a more localized world through the internet, which is crazy because the internet went from local to worldwide, and then now that everybody is on it doing real life with it, it's kind of back to local in a way that, like, it's not like one person has like 500 million followers, but everybody has like a couple thousand. Right. You know what I mean? Like
'Cause
everybody has
it's
a
way
network.
more functional now.
It's
Yeah.
balancing itself
Yeah.
out.
Like everybody has their own like circle of
Because you
network.
can only use it for like a select amount of activities. Now you can use it for an unlimited amount of activities. Shit.
Yeah. Oh, for real.
In a minute, we about to be living through the internet.
I just think the world need a good cleansing right now. That's
Yeah.
it. It just need a good cleansing. I don't know how it's gonna come.
That's what I'm about to ask you. What? How you do that? What's gonna cleanse the minds? Is that what you're saying?
Everything just need a cleansing. This,
Elaborate.
yep. Pretty much like how you reset something. When something starts messing up, you go and hit the little.
But do you think that's gonna
Like we moving into like a new age, you saying? Like
Yeah.
a whole new
do you think
era?
that's chaos first and then order after that?
Like I said, I don't know how. Should it come? I'm not.
I
gonna
don't
say
see how you could cleanse the world without chaos.
It did the dinosaurs, didn't it?
That was chaos.
How we know? We wasn't there.
I mean,
They're
but
not, they not here no more.
you referenced it, so you don't know either.
That's why I said I'm not putting on how it should it be chaos or
if what you're saying is true, the dinosaur story, the meteor destroyed the whole world in most things. You know, that's kind of like the theory is that like all the big animals died because they couldn't breathe because of the
Right.
smoke in the air, but the little rodents and shit went underground and lived under there, and then once everything settled, they popped back up and started reproducing, and everything now is much smaller because it started from small things. That's kind of like the evolutionary theory of like, you know, what happened after the dinosaurs or whatever. But yeah, like, but my thing is like, I think about it too. It every day it starts to feel more and more like shit is gonna hit the fan, and or something's gonna change dramatically in a short amount of time, and that's sort of an exciting thing. It's also a scary thing because I don't know if it's gonna be chaotic, if it's gonna cause mass damage and harm to people, and I would hope not. But I know that at the end of it, probably going to be better because it'll wake a lot of people up. The reason that we're in the situation that we're in is because we have people that are in establishments that have a system that run, and people bow their head to the system and do something without thinking. Like the people are kind of like robots, and I don't blame them because they were indoctrinated into this
they
shit.
was taught that shit.
Yeah.
But if something crazy happens, no matter what it is, everybody is alert now, and everybody's looking at their surroundings. And in the same way that you studied all the things that you studied because you wanted to know more, you probably started studying because you were in a chaotic part of your life.
Yep.
And chaos was all around you, so you were alert and you were looking everywhere. That's what happens when there's an earthquake. You look everywhere. Where can I go? Where can I go for shelter? And then you realize something very useful was over there. Like there's this little cubby you might have, and I never thought I could use that as a shelter. You know, it's something like that. And that's kind of how people are going now. Like people are like 2020. I think freaked a lot of people out, and I think a lot of people are much more aware of what's going on in the world than they were just a year before that. And just by the nature of people being more aware, that's really bad for establishment people who just expect things to go the way that they have been going.
Or how I used to go.
And I think that's kind of I don't know if it's a revolution or what, but it's changing. Shit's changing. Like I talk to people on a day-to-day basis, and they know shit that I've known for years now, and it's just a common person kind of knows a lot more about certain things now, and I'm happy about that. But I think that there's could possibly be a moment where like things are out of control and a lot of people suffer because of that. I hope that doesn't happen, but you know, I can see how that could possibly happen.
But at the same time, bro, I feel like a lot of people know what's going on, but now they don't know how,
It's gonna
know how to separate themselves from it, or like how to
adapt to
execute on things that now that they know, you feel me? Like now you know
So what you gonna
that
do
none
about
of this shit is steady. You know that your job ain't secure like you thought it was.
build one.
How are you going to secure yourself? And a lot of people don't know
That's
how.
a good point that we
And
haven't even brought up
a lot
yet.
of people are not willing to invest in what it takes to learn how. Because the people who know how aren't just going to tell you for free. They're not about to sit down and explain how for 20 hours or 40 hours. You damn near have to go to a goddamn university to learn how to secure yourself based on, you know, all the shit we have to unlearn and then relearn the whole new system, bro. I've invested a substantial amount of time and energy and resources into educate myself and unlearn the shit that I already learned in school. So unless you're willing to go through that process, you gonna know that the shit fucked up, but you're not gonna know how to react to it and how to get the fuck up out of it. But you feel me? That's up to you making that investment in yourself.
Yeah, I just wish everybody the best, man.
Always.
Like, you know, I hate to see, and there's probably a lot of people fucking, like just like you saying, they know that things changing and they gotta be more aware, and they going about it the wrong way and probably losing all of their money on certain shit. Investing in all the wrong things. But I mean, shit, like, learn. I hope you learn.
That's the
from
part
that.
of learning.
Yeah.
You gotta fail to learn.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the part of living. You gotta live to learn.
But yeah, great point. When the coronavirus took people's jobs from under their feet,
Just like that.
just give me that. I couldn't believe it. Like,
I
literally,
believe
I
it.
couldn't believe it whenever I got that call and they were just like, yeah, you don't have a job anymore. I never thought I would hear those words, because the way I was raised was to keep a job, and here are the things you have to do to keep a job.
And that was taught to you,
When
right?
you walk in there, when you walk in there, you do the right thing. You make sure you don't, you understand that if you have a authority figure over you.
We all had that slavery talk.
Mm-hmm.
We all had that slavery talk, brother. Our people gave us on how to talk to your boss, how to
But you
goddamn
can
keep
do all of that
everybody
and lose
happy.
your job.
Still lose
But
your job.
you still ain't got no control over that shit because you ain't produced the job.
Because all it take is
And the person who writing your paycheck got shit to pay too. So once they shit fucked up, your shit
You know
fucked
who
up.
they gotta be loyal to? Their family. So they
Right.
can care less about your family.
If that business end that day,
Yeah.
they still getting cut a big check for the business. Once they sell that business to somebody else, they could sell the whole business to somebody else. They get a big ass check. You think they gonna cut checks for each person? Fuck no.
So I say first be loyal to yourself before you be loyal to somebody else's job. Just like how y'all loyal to y'all brand. That's where it started off at. But yeah, I feel you. Like your job, you went in next day and shoot, pink slip here.
like I almost got mad. Like, I almost got mad at my manager. I was like,
It's been happening.
You serious? After everything I did, you can't give me something else to do?
No.
Like, but I mean, I was smart enough to never say that or actually go forward with that thought. But I was like, it was like the first night that I realized that I wasn't going to work the next day.
I bet.
I was like,
I bet
I
before
was
they
really
told you that,
tense.
bro, you probably never even thought about starting your own business or working for yourself.
Or being loyal to
Like
yourself.
really thought about actually
I was
doing
about
it.
to say,
You probably had the thought, yeah, but
we
you
talked about
actually
it plenty
thought
times
about doing
before.
this shit.
We talked about it plenty times before, and I've thought about it for a while, like a long time before. But it was like a play thought,
Right.
It's like thinking about joining the military. Ooh, that sounds like I would be doing some cool shit, but you never about to do that.
No.
You never about to actually do that. So yeah, I mean, honestly, and then that kind of that lights a fire up your ass. Like,
Whoa.
okay, I gotta fucking do something, and I probably can if I really wanted to. Like, I could probably do that. I seen him do it. He did it. That guy over there did it. Let me see if I can do it. This shit works. Cause what the difference between you and him? And I think a lot of people are realizing that. A lot of people, like, I want to see the data on like how much more activity is happening on like all of the platforms. Like, how many more YouTube channels got created? How many more like TikTok channels got
A
created?
lot.
But TikTok don't really
whole
fucking
bunch.
count because that shit just started to pop anyway. That shit was about to rise anyway. But like how many more LLCs got, you know, bought
Right.
up? Like I know a guy that just because we did an LLC, he went and got his own.
That's good, bro.
And he didn't I was talking to him at work. He's like, what do y'all do to be able to, you know, like make sure people don't like, you know, take your name or whatever, like something like that. I was like, get an LLC. And he was like, you could just do that? I was like, yeah, we did it.
People don't even know that you can just do that
shit.
shit.
Do you want to
but that's great, bro, because I want to help people get to that,
He did it in like a week, bro.
That's good,
It only-
bro.
it
It only take a day.
I was like, if you need to
You
talk
remember
to
when I
Elgin,
started
I'll give
mine?
you his number. Yeah, I was like, if you need to talk to Elgin about how he did it, I'll give you his number.
It's so
And he never hit you up,
self-explanatory,
and he
bro.
just went and did it. He was like, yeah, I had a friend that did
The
it.
day I started mine, I called him. I said, he was like, how long it take? I say took me about 2 hours, and boom. That's it.
Yeah.
You just gotta sit down and
Do it. Just 2 hours. Not even 2. Just do it. Just have
It's
your
like writing an
funds.
essay, like-
Yeah, just have your funds ready, and
Yep.
that's it.
Oh, got it. Boom.
Self-sufficiency, man. I would like to see everybody kind of have their own thing going. Like, I really love when people have their own thing going. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, like, I think it's hilarious. Like, you got, like a big company, right? Like, a big company, the Adidas. And they put out a statement. It happened a lot in 2020. Like, a lot of companies were putting out political statements. Like, we just want to, here at the office, we just want to let you know that we all care about black people and black lives. And I'm looking at the shit like, who wrote this? Who is the person that came up with this statement? Because this whole company made up out of hundreds of thousands of people. That statement doesn't represent everyone that's in there.
You're right.
I mean, I know why y'all are saying it.
Y'all
Like,
won't.
everything that a brand represents is a conglomerate of and you know that dilutes the brand, right? Like, when you have a lot of people's input and that's why we don't crowdsource our ideas and we keep it between us. If we just asked everyone what we want to do, we're going to get down to, like, the most diluted, dumb idea. You know what I mean? So when people have their own brands that they just own and they kind of just manage it themselves, like, a brand has much more personality and much more like you can really connect with it much more whenever it's a person. Like, there's a person attached to it because people know how to connect with people and they know how to get ideas from people. That's why when a big company like Walmart says something, I'm like, who said that? Like, you're a store. Like, you're a big ass warehouse full of cheap shit. Why is that's not a person who's talking?
Like, the person who said it probably can't even name every person who works for Target.
Yeah.
Not even a quarter of them.
No. Not even 1% of them probably.
That's sad. You don't even know who you got working for you.
Yeah, just somebody ran into a room one day and is like, oh my God, everybody's freaking out. We gotta say something because all these other companies are saying something. So let's say something good. Let's say something that doesn't piss anyone off. Let's say, like, the whole thing is tailored to work and it's not true and genuine from the heart. You know what I
Because you could actually go see the person who works for, like, Target put out a statement saying that they care about Black Lives Matter. You can go to Target right now and somebody who worked there can call you the goddamn N-word. And the person who said the statement don't even have knowledge of it.
It's like, I didn't know they put out that statement.
But they could say Target stands for this and this and this. But no, Target stands for whoever is in Target that day.
Whoever
That's,
you got-
that's what
Whoever you
whoever
got
working that
representing your
shift.
business.
Yeah, Target stands for selling clothes
Right.
and electronics and
To you.
toys to you. That's what they stand for.
To
That's
get
what
your
they
money.
do. They don't think about. There's no reason to have to do any of that other stuff.
Right.
It's only because, like, some companies do it that other companies feel like, oh fuck, now they're gonna think we racist if we don't say something.
We
It's
need
just-
that dollar.
Yeah, and it's just like fucking like.
Yeah, that's
I really like the idea of a small brand and having it just represent the person who runs it. Like, I want one person to manage a product that I'm interested in, because it's much easier for me to understand why a person does what they do, and connect with and relate with a person, and then their brand is just them, you know.
Yep.
That's what I want. That's what I want everybody to do. That's what I want everybody to do. I want everybody to design their own shit. The world would be so much, I just feel like it would be so much more colorful. It would be so much more like, it'd be so much more diversity to it, and like it wouldn't be, because when there's so much diversity, everything's kind of in a gray spectrum area, and there's not like those polarizing things like Nike or Adidas, Xbox or PlayStation, Republican or Democrat, you know, whatever else. Because usually, because the funny thing is that we put a ban on monopolies. You know, it's in, I don't know, somewhere in the law. Shit. You can't have a monopoly in America, but you can have two companies who technically monopolize everything. So game consoles, the monopoly is Xbox and PlayStation. They not really too worried about. They actually like to keep fighting because that's good for both of them. Because they end up having exclusive shit on both sides, and then people eventually end up buying both of them.
Yeah, and keep us in the loop. Oh, you Xbox, I'm PlayStation.
Yeah,
it is. It just keep up.
And people will literally buy an Xbox just to say fuck PlayStation. You know what I mean? And and so how is that not collusion? That's almost like a telepathic collusion, because they know that if we just keep this little rivalry going on and we don't use the same colors and we make our shit look different, and so people can like attach themselves to our brand.
Like the owner of Xbox and the owner of PlayStation is probably super good friends.
They probably go to the golf course.
And PlayStation would never make a green PlayStation because that's the Xbox color. You can't do that. That's gonna fuck up the whole like identity of the thing. Like you have to separate yourself
PlayStation
from the
either
other
gonna
thing.
be white or black. It's gonna be white, black, or like some type of silver.
But
unless
brand,
you customize it.
But their brand,
you feel me?
Their brand is blue. Like when you turn it on, it's a blue screen. You got the blue light. You got blue everything. Xbox.
But
has
as far as like the
shit.
actual console, like
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be like a solid color. Like that's just what they don't do all the fucking extra shit. Like
yeah. You're not gonna find like them using the competition's like style, because
why would they do that?
I mean they would probably do it because like maybe
Apple would never try to make an Android type of phone.
Yeah, but Android made a lot of iPhone type shit because they wanted to,
and that's why nobody fucks with Android.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. See how the commotion started?
The only reason why people fuck with Android is because they're like, fuck Apple. They try to do this. They think they gonna get me stuck. That's the only reason why people will buy Android. Really.
I just never been.
Some people don't wanna. Some people don't wanna admit it. They just don't fuck with Apple, and that's why they get an Android. Because there's no reason why you shouldn't have Apple.
There is a lot of people who are just like that.
I had Apple
but
once,
there's a couple people who
and
are.
I swear Apple told on me the most. I consider like it get you in trouble. Messages pop right on the screen. Bing. This the old Apple. I don't know if they changed or not. Android, you can tend to hide stuff like that, like stuff you don't want other people to see.
Yeah, I think more so nowadays
because everything's so connected on the Apple,
yeah.
Which is why a lot of people don't like it. Which that's
So
a good
I
reason.
never say
you see, that's a good reason.
And that's from the old version, so I ain't messed with the newer version, so
like,
it might have changed. I don't know, but
like back when the shit was like newer, like 2010 or whatever, there was a lot of differences between the two. So like there was a lot of more people with Androids.
But you'll never see a person just come out of the blue and be like, "I love my Android so much. I love my Samsung." Blah blah blah. But you'll see a motherfucker be like, "Bro, I love Apple." Like people love Apple, bro.
Yeah. And people
and they love their iPhone.
Yeah, I would admit that there's a lot of times when I run in, like I really like a lot of Android phones. They do like a lot of cool shit that my phone probably doesn't do. But you know, I like my iPhone for the reasons I like it. But a lot of Android people that I talk to, I ask them like, "Oh, that's a cool phone," and then like within like 30 seconds they're talking about iPhones.
Exactly.
They're like, "Yeah, I just don't like how the iPhone is like blah 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 blah," and I'm like, I didn't ask you about the iPhone.
Exactly,
I asked
bro.
you about your shit. Your shit looks cool. I
Actually,
want to know about your shit.
But when you talk
Always.
about an iPhone, you never bring up an Android.
Yeah, I
But
mean, like,
actually,
what am I even
the
gonna
only
say?
thing I like about Apple, FaceTime. See,
Yeah.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. Like,
Hey.
dude,
It's like they feel like they're being rebellious by getting an Android.
dude,
I
so
can't knock
many
the
people,
FaceTime. I
so
just
many
can't.
Android people just hate. Like, they just look at me and they're like, they act like I'm stupid for having an iPhone. Like, my uncle did this to me at like a Christmas party. He came up to me and he
That's the only
asked
thing
me.
Android got going for
He
it.
asked me what my phone. He asked me about my phone. He was like, "Oh," I was like, "I don't know." I forgot what I was doing, but he asked me about my phone, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's just like an iPhone, like whatever." And then I put it back down, and he was like, "My Samsung has 5G," and little did he know, this is the newest iPhone. This bitch got 5G too, but I turned it off because I don't like 5G. But so I just use 4G all day. But anyway, he was like, "Mine has 5G." And I was like,
Congratulations.
okay. And I almost didn't even want to tell him that mine had 5G.
Because you just didn't want to.
Yeah, I didn't want to
you
argue.
didn't want to keep it going.
Yeah, but I
just like,
I just
alright.
had to say it. I was like, so does mine. And he was like, well, mine, I could charge my headphones. I could charge my
When
headphones.
it turned into a competition.
I could charge my AirPods by putting it on the back of the thing, and it could charge it from the phone. The newest Galaxies can do that. They can.
I could charge your phone with my phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then so what I told him is,
Do I want to
Why
give
the
up my
fuck would you
battery?
want to do that?
Do I want to? The question
that's exactly what I told him, LJ.
Do I want to give up my battery life to charge?
Right,
it?
why
Like,
would you wanna
Exactly.
do
I
that?
would if I had that on my phone, I'd never use it because why would I give my battery to
I
you?
would never do that.
I'll
Unless you
lend
know
you
you
my
need a
charger.
jump start.
Unless it's like life or death, but
Yeah.
why would we be sitting there just waiting for your phone to charge?
Yes.
We could just use mine.
Use mine to call the same person.
Look how I came in. I brought my
Dude,
charger
I
with
asked
me.
him. I said, have you ever used that before? Have you ever done that before?
No.
He said no, but it can do it, so it's better than yours. And I said, do you know what AirDrop is? And he was like, no.
I
And
like
I was
AirDrop,
like,
though.
all right, then I don't even feel like talking to you anymore. He was like, oh, you scared to have this conversation, huh? And I was like, dude, just
You
like,
scared to have
yeah, about cell phones.
That's
bruh.
like saying, bro, I could do a double backflip, but you got more money than me, so I could do more than you because I could do a double backflip, even though you got more money than me.
Yeah,
Shit.
and I'm like, okay, you got that. Like, you could do the backflip. That's fine.
Because the Apple is obviously
And
the
I'm
better
trying to
phone,
walk away.
but just because you could charge the back of someone else's phone with this one doesn't make that a better phone because the actual phone is fucking better.
I
What
would
if
say
your
this.
phone just doesn't like work?
What
and
makes
that's
the
all it
phone
does?
better is the person's preference.
Yeah, like if it fits what you do.
If it fits what you do, that's what makes anybody's phone perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Just like
I mean,
Samsung
literally.
got the phone that fold out. That's not my preference. I'm like,
Yeah,
what is the point of
that one's
Like,
silly to me.
Yeah.
But I understand some people that like the. I think you got. Do you have a note? Is that
Yeah, I
what
got
you
a
have?
Note.
So it has a pen. I see the value in that.
Right.
I see the value in that because I have an iPad and I use the pen all the time. So that's real cool to be able to have that. It ain't worth it to me because I have an iPad. So it's that simple. And I'm like fucking trying to tell my uncle that, and he's just like, my phone's better than yours. And I was like, all right, bro, get out of my face. You get on my nerves now. And then by the end of the night, we go to leave. I'm getting in the car, leaving out the front yard, and they all partying in the backyard. And I see the front door open. The front door opens from the house that we was having the Christmas party at. And I look at the front door, and I see Randy. I'm like, is this man coming outside? What is he doing? I already told him bye. He come up to me. He got his phone in the air, and I'm looking, and I'm like, what is he doing? Like, is he running up to me with his phone right now? I'm trying to leave. I'm in my car about to leave, and he running. He's like, hey, and I'm like, oh fuck, dude. And he found a paragraph on the Samsung website. A paragraph from the Samsung website that said the reverse wireless charging. He's still on this shit. The reverse wireless charging on Samsung Galaxy, whatever the fuck, can charge phones such as Qi wireless compatible Android phones as well as iPhone 8 and higher. And he put his finger on can charge iPhone 8 and higher, like everything after the iPhone 8. And I looked at him. I looked at it, and I already knew that, first off. Like, I already knew that's how it worked. And I looked at him, and I said, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I said, please leave me alone. I was like, I really do not care.
Right, that's funny, bro.
And then he was like, oh, come on, man, I'm just joking. And I was like, I hate when people do that shit. I hate when people do that.
You not joking.
When people go hard as fuck, and then when
say that they joking,
and then whenever you're finally like, I'm done with this shit, like you're doing too much, they're like, dude, I'm joking, relax. Nah, I don't fuck with that. So that made me mad, and now I don't even. I don't let it have you mad. I don't know if I want to, go talk to my uncle.
Nah, bro, talk to your uncle, bro. He just got. He just got to get over that little man complex.
I'm gonna talk to him, but if he say something about
he
his
got
phone,
that little Android complex.
Yeah. I love him. He's a great, funny dude. But if he gets to
talk
how
about short people feel like they gotta defend themselves. That's how everybody with an Android.
I guess I'm in the
My
middle.
other uncle used to just beat my ass all the time because he was short. Dude, when I was smaller than him, he would just, because he was in the military, he could fight real good. He'd just grab my hand and just throw me on the ground. I just woke up and I went to his house for Thanksgiving, some shit. And I shake his hand and I'm like trying to pull away from the hand and he's still holding it. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not trying to do this right now. And he's like, do what? I'm like, nah, bro. And he'd just go ahead and just fucking grab my hand, turn it over. And I'm like,
everybody don't need power, bro.
Dude. Short uncles, man.
I guess I'm in the middle because I got an iPad too. So, yeah. Like I say, whatever your preference is.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, they ain't no cool Android tablets.
Exactly.
Even the Surface Pro not cool. I was thinking about getting one. I was like, I'm gonna get an iPad.
Just save up.
Why
for
you
an
think
iPad,
I did? I got an iPad.
You gotta save up for a good iPad. Do that shit. Yeah, shit hard. All right. So, moral of the story in this podcast is, just let people buy their own, whatever the phone they like.
Whatever
bro, please.
fits your preference.
And any closing remarks, Elgin? I don't know, man.
I'm good, man. I mean, I did want to touch on this one thing.
Oh, go ahead. I thought it was
mainly about family, man. Take advantage of the time that you have with your family. I know we talked a lot about people not want to go to work and all of this stuff and all that. But the main reason why I feel like a lot of people don't want to go to work is because of the separation that it causes with you and your loved ones and the things that you care about. So I was talking to this guy, one of my friends, and he brought up the point that he came to work at the same place that I work at, and he's from Houston. Now he's in Louisiana, and he said he can only go and see his family like twice a year, really around Christmas time and around the summertime. So he said if he breaks that down and he gives his dad like a life expectancy of another 30 years or so, he'll only get 60 more visits to see his father, the person who raised him, the person he spent, every day with up to that point. And it kind of put things into perspective for me as far as how important it is to cherish the moments that you have and also create a life to where you can be with the people that you love and do the things that you love on a daily basis, because our time here is so limited, man. Like 60 meetings, bro. Like you might see your barber more than that. You might see a person, your neighbor more than that. It's like, bro, you see your barber more than your mom or your dad, bro.
You better see your barber more than twice a year.
It's like, man, it just made me think, man. It made me want to be, more free and, spend more time with my family. I hope y'all do the same.
And I can touch on that. During COVID, I want to see my family a whole lot more.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, bro, that's important. Family is key. But
it feel much better too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and happy Mother's Day.
Oh yeah,
on
to
that
all
note,
mothers.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and
Thank
all
you.
the soon-to-be mothers. Happy Mother's Day, and God bless, bro. That's all I got.
God bless. Till next time. Till episode 32. That was episode 31. Hope y'all had a great time. Thank you, Kenny.
Oh yeah.
The viewers missed you.
Yes, sir.
I know they
did. Always a pleasure to have.
Later.